There are some things that science can explain, and then there are things that science just cannot explain. Here are 6 of the most mind-bending mysteries that have even science scratching its head. No, 6 millisecond radio bursts. For centuries, we knew the universe was vast, but it was also quiet. We saw faraway stars and galaxies, but they were so distant that their light had been stretched into wavelengths beyond our ability to see them with the naked eye, or even with basic telescopes. We could only detect them through the faint infrared glow they emitted, which was thousands of times dimmer than what we could see from stars much closer to home. This lack of audibility didn't change until the late 20th century, when scientists realized that they could listen to the radio waves coming from deep space and hear things like quasars, supernovas, and black holes. In fact, in 2001, astronomers picked up the first fast radio burst, or FRB. These bursts are incredibly powerful emissions of radiation that lasts only milliseconds. But for a while, that was the only one we ever heard. Now we've picked up around 2,000 bursts, and we still don't know what they are, how they happen, or where they come from. Some scientists think they might be signals from extraterrestrial civilizations. Others believe they could be a new kind of neutron star. Most experts agree that they're not dangerous to Earth since they're so far away. But that hasn't stopped astronomers from searching for answers, and they won't stop until they get one. Number 5. Stonehenge. Stonehenge isn't the only ancient ruin that science can't quite figure out. There are dozens of lost cities and long-forgotten civilizations whose building techniques still baffle scientists today. However, few are as famous as Stonehenge, which has been featured in everything from classic novels to modern TV shows. But what exactly is Stonehenge? It's a ring of standing stones arranged in a circular fashion. Archaeologists think it was built around 3000 BC, making it older than the Great Pyramid of Giza, but how it was constructed remains a mystery. It's clear that the builders used basic tools to cut down trees and haul stones weighing several tons, but they had no advanced tools like cranes or heavy machinery. So how did they get those massive rocks upright? Some theories say they used wooden rollers and levers, while others claim the stones were simply too heavy to move and must have been brought there by more supernatural means. Until we find more evidence, we may never know how Stonehenge was really built. 4. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is an area in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean where ships and planes are said to vanish without a trace. It's sometimes referred to as the Devil's Triangle or the Hurricane Alley, but it doesn't actually look like a triangle. It covers roughly 500,000 square miles of ocean, which includes parts of Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Bahamas. Legend says that anything that enters the Bermuda Triangle disappears forever, and that legend has captured the public's imagination for decades. In fact, the idea of a mysterious force lurking off the coast of Florida has inspired countless books, movies, and TV shows. But does anything really happen in the Bermuda Triangle? Officially, nothing. While there have been many high-profile incidents that suggest something strange is going on, most of them have logical explanations. Flight 19, for example, was a group of 5 bombers that flew over the Gulf Stream and got lost. Their failure to return led to speculation that they'd been abducted by aliens, but all 5 planes probably crashed into the ocean after running out of fuel. And while there have been other similar incidents, it's unlikely that they're connected. Number 3. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is a book written in a mysterious script that has never been deciphered. It gets its name from the book dealer who purchased it in 1912, but it could be hundreds of years older. It contains around 240 pages filled with text and illustrations, but nobody knows what either of them mean. Experts think the book was written sometime between 1404 and 1436, but they haven't been able to narrow it down any further. They don't even know what language it's written in. At first glance, it looks like gibberish, and even the illustrations are indecipherable. But that hasn't stopped people from trying. Over the years, scholars have attempted to translate the book using everything from basic linguistic rules to computer algorithms, but so far, nobody has succeeded. That is, however, not for lack of trying. One man even went to prison for claiming he decracked the code only to admit that he demade it all up. He said he felt guilty about fooling people and wanted to be caught. So maybe the truth is out there, somewhere, but we haven't found it yet. 2. The WOW signal. The WOW signal is a radio signal that was picked up by a telescope in 1977. It was later named by the scientists who discovered it because they were astounded by the sheer power of the transmission. It lasted for only 30 seconds and came from somewhere near the constellation Sagittarius, but it was so strong that it could have easily been detected with a simple radio telescope. To this day, nobody knows what it was. Some scientists say it was a once-in-a-lifetime event that could never happen again. Others think it was a deliberate message from an alien civilization. Many argue that it was a malfunction of the telescope, and while that seems likely, it hasn't stopped conspiracy theorists from coming up with all kinds of explanations. One popular theory is that the signal was sent by the crew of Apollo 11 just before they landed on the moon. This would have been 3 years before the signal was picked up, but it wouldn't have traveled to Earth until 1977. Unfortunately, NASA has already debunked this theory, saying it's impossible that the signal was sent by humans. Number 1. Dark matter and dark energy. There are some things that science can explain pretty easily, like the laws of gravity or the behavior of subatomic particles. But then there are things that science just can't explain at all. Two of the biggest unsolved mysteries in the universe are dark matter and dark energy. We know they exist because we can see their effects on galaxies and other objects in space, but we don't know what they are or where they came from. In fact, scientists have no idea what either of them is made of. We know dark matter makes up around 80% of the mass in the universe, but we've never been able to detect it directly. The only evidence we have for its existence comes from its gravitational effects on visible matter. Similarly, we know dark energy makes up around 70% of the universe, but we can only observe its effects on the expansion of the cosmos. Both dark matter and dark energy are thought to have played a key role in the formation of the universe, but without more evidence, scientists can only speculate about what they actually are. As baffling as these mysteries are, they've also inspired some of the greatest scientific minds to come up with creative solutions. Maybe one day soon we'll finally find the answers we're looking for. Do you know of any other mind-bending mysteries that science can't crack? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.